Welcome to the channel, Gaming Army. We have 2 domination matches coming your way in this video. In both videos we will be in our Arctic Cheetah E, and it is outfitted with 2 heavy large lasers. So our first drop has us playing on HPG manifold, and I see a rather cheeky enemy unit up here on the wall trying to get an angle on our right flank, and I am going to go up and dissuade him from sticking around. Now pay attention to this section of the video very carefully. I'm about to show you a patent pending maneuver. It's a maneuver I like to call the hokey pokey. When focused by an enemy mech with superior firepower or range, you quickly find the closest out of bounds. Then you put your whole mech in. The countdown starts, and then you put your whole mech out. And while you're doing this, the enemy is refocusing his attention elsewhere on the boards, and you get away nice and clean.
Second sniper on the wall. Echo.
Do not try this maneuver at home, kids. Leave it to us, the professionals, to do a maneuver like that. Alright, in all seriousness, that was total lack of battlefield awareness on my part. However, it does point out something very important about this particular mech, and that goes down to speed and maneuverability, because if this mech wasn't that agile, there's no way I would have gotten away with that maneuver. So now I just need to be triple aware of my situation on the battlefield. I'm going to push in now because I know that there is a supernova with probably ER large lasers up there on the wall. I throw up a UAV and continue circling around to get into his backside. So my UAV does 2 things. Number 1, it marks him for the rest of my team so that it can see where he's at on the board. Number 2, it focuses some of his attention. If you can see, he's already taken down my UAV, but that has allowed me to squirt in behind him, and now I'm going to use my jump jets and maneuverability to get up on the wall, hopefully, fingers crossed, in an unexpected position to attack his mech. Now my first attack was successful, and I got a little bit of his right arm, so I'm hoping he is looking more towards the right, and we'll get a second attack in on him. But he is paying attention and answers with some of those ER large lasers of his, so that's not fun. So we're going to go vertical, and he was waiting for that maneuver as well, and that wasn't fun either, but I got out one of my airstrikes on him, and it looks like it hit home. So I don't know if that was a fair trade or not, but it did allow me to soften him up a little bit more with that airstrike. Now I'm going to reposition and come at him from the low ground. I've just got to find the right angle, and I'm also hoping that he's looking in the wrong direction, that he's getting shot and thinking I'm still up on the high ground behind that bit of building for cover. I'm going to peek this one more time. Hopefully he's not looking down. And not only is he not looking down, it looks like he bugged out totally. So I'm going to go up and see if that is the case or if he just repositioned. Either way, this is a major victory, and why it is so important to be aggressive in the enemy backfield. By pushing him, I've forced him to move to a different location. While he's doing that, chances are he's not going to be shooting at my teammates, number 1. Number 2 is whatever new position he moves to, hopefully, is going to be less advantageous than the one that you've just cleared out. And speaking of advantageous positions, we'll take his spot on the wall, and I believe that is him down below. His mech is heavily damaged now, and let's see if we can't capitalize on this and help remove him from the board. The enemy supernova has a nice amber colored CT, and I'm going to keep adding to the damage on that CT. He's absorbing a lot of shots. I make sure my teammates know the condition of his mech, but I also notice most of my teammates are on the other side of the board, more towards Delta 5. That means removing the supernova from the game is going to be up to me, and I'm going to reposition to do that. I also have to be aware of another enemy unit up on the wall ahead of me, more towards Fox 5, so I do have to pay attention to that as well, but I really want to finish what I started on the supernova. He's hiding under the ramp, but that's not going to save him, and we managed to finish the last little bit of damage through his rear CT. Now that frees us up to go take a look at this other enemy unit, which is a Nova, who is trying to snipe from the Fox 5 area. Now, I've done some damage to him, and in response he fires off a UAV, but I have no intention of running under the UAV range, not when I have 552 meters worth of range at my disposal, so we will quickly take him off the board, and that frees us up now to push in towards the center and find more targets of opportunity on the enemy team. Another very important thing to consider is, if you look at the minimap, you'll see my teammates are all positioned outside of the capture circle in the center. So if I can get in here and hold the clock for my team, since the enemy only needs 25 seconds, that is a huge relief to my team and allows them to focus enemy units and not worry about the clock. Now, while I'm here, obviously, I'm going to shoot things like a wounded supernova, but while I'm around the corner waiting for my lasers to cool down, somebody else secures the kill. But that's okay. We're still in the center, we're still holding the clock, and now we can get up into a high vantage point and focus the Ice Ferret. He's heavily damaged as well. And again, while I'm waiting for that cooldown to wear off, somebody else secures the kill. That's okay, because there's two more enemies left somewhere, and there's one of them right now. He's heading for the basement. It is a spider. His right leg is open, left torso open. I think we can help contribute to this. We will go in with our friendly Night Star and see what work we can get done on the spider. To his credit, he's being very evasive in his maneuvers, and he quickly locks onto me. I think that's because I am the smaller and conceivably the squishier of the two to take on, so I'll lead him on a merry little chase. That frees up my Night Star to try and focus him, and then I can rejoin the fray, as it were. And again, he's being so evasive that I've got to really plan my shots out. I want to go for the leg if I can, because that will cut down his maneuverability. And there goes that leg, and now I can take my time and pop through his open torso to get the third kill. And with that kill, the basement is now clear, and we can focus on hunting down the last remaining enemy mech. Now, my teammates are saying he's outside the Delta 4, Delta 5 doorway, and you can see there's low signal on my units that are in the doorway, so he's out here somewhere. I'm going to push out to see if I can get eyes on him. They said he was in the slot, but I think he's on the high ground, and the reason for that is I don't see anybody, and I didn't get shot when I pushed out, which means as I pushed out, he must have dropped in. My two units are now with him in the basement, and they're going to take him out to bring this drop to a close. Taking a look at our end screen, we finished this match out with 3 kills, 520 damage done. Moving over to our next drop, this one has us playing Domination again, but this time we're on Polar Highlands, and we've located the enemy units holding the center. And we're going to light up this Arctic Wolf because he's distracted. He's busy looking towards the high ground where some of my teammates are starting to trickle in, and that makes him distracted enough that we can get some work done on him, and we can get some work done on this bushwhacker. He also is watching the high ground where my teammates are, so that leaves him free game for us, and we can get a little work done on the bushwhacker. He's opened both arms. He's hiding behind the building, but his right arm is peeking out, so I'm going to take that right arm. Oh, he saw us. He saw us. The jig is up. The idea behind taking the right arm, I get it. I know the bushwhacker doesn't necessarily need its arms in the Rack 5 loadout. What I was actually hoping for was that some of my damage on that right arm might transfer over into the right torso, and maybe I could get a crit on one of those Rack 5s. Now, that wasn't meant to be, but He did lose his arm, so there's no shield arm, and he's going to be trailing smoke, which will make him more observable to my teammates. Relocating to the far right side of our lines, I find yet another bushwhacker, and he too is running twin rack 5s. Now, I do have a UAV up, and I'm hoping between the UAV and my R key, I can get some locks on him to get some missile support from my teammates. In the meantime, he's pushing me, and I am going to torso twist for all I'm worth, trying to spread that damage out. I don't want a component focused and blown through on my neck. So he's backing off a little bit, and I am getting some support from my teammates, and I'm going to take to the high ground to see if I can get a better angle on his mech. So we're going to shift around towards Kilo 8 here and get up on this high ground. He's still out there. His mech is damaged and open. We'll get a little bit of a shot on him, and while I'm waiting for my lasers to cool down and refresh, a teammate secures the kill. Now that brings up some very important points to be made. I consider this mech still in its trial phase as I'm trying this configuration out to get a really good feel of what this mech can do and where its weaknesses are. It is a very capable mech, and this is a very good loadout, but you have to keep in mind the following things. First of all, it's a very different play style than other loadouts that are more short-range, run-in, deliver your alpha strike, get back out, and repeat over and over again. It is a slower play style pace in this loadout. Number two is the fact that those heavy-medium lasers are pretty hot. And the most critical one is the fact that you have a very slow recycle time on those heavy lasers. Hopefully you've noticed it in the last portion of the video, and hopefully again here as well. After I've shot my lasers, there is a considerable amount of time where I can't do anything while my lasers regenerate. Now, I know it's only a few seconds, but in a game like this, it will feel like an eternity. And it's during that eternity that my teammates secure the kills that I am hoping to get for myself. Case in point, we have found a wayward king crab, and we've got him turned around out of position. We're kind of ping-ponging him back and forth between my teammates and myself. He's open CT, his back is fully open, and all I can see is nice, juicy components in need of destroying. But I have to keep waiting for my lasers to cool down so that I can shoot again. And while I'm waiting for that second cooldown, he is taken out by a teammate. I know, kill securing at its finest, but be prepared if you go this route. It will be very frustrating with heavy lasers, that long recycle time. We have another opportunity with this heavily damaged Ebonjag, but while I'm on cooldown, my teammates quickly surround him and take him out of the fray. So now I'm forced to look for other targets of opportunity, and while I'm getting lots of shots in, I'm sure I'm doing lots and lots of damage, it always feels like my golden opportunity appears while I'm on cooldown or while I'm overheated. And now, trying to get into position to go at the enemies, I have stumbled across a nest of them towards Hotel 7. I don't know exactly what's there other than the fact that there is a Fafnir, and I am not going to stand in front of a Fafnir. No sirree. I'm going to circle around and see who his friend is. And his friend is a Huntsman. Now, the Huntsman is LRM heavy, and I could easily push that. However, my cycle rate is preventing me, number one. Number two is that if the Huntsman actually does manage to get a lock on me, he's going to narc me out to the Fafnir, and that Fafnir can just spin around and crush me like the little bug that I am. My teammates take out the Fafnir, and now the Huntsman is under all kinds of pressure, and I'm going to elbow my way to the front of this dog pile so that I can get some damage on this huntsman as he runs away. And we do manage to secure a kill on the huntsman. It costs us a little bit of overheating, but we do secure the kill on that particular target. Now we're just hunting down the last 2 remaining enemies, and one of them is the locust on the other side of the board. He goes down with a shot to his CT, and the last one is somewhere in the center. And going vertical, I managed to spy him on the other side of the building. I have a teammate who is pushing him as well. I'm going to join the hunt. And there's our friend the Arctic Wolf from the beginning of the drop. He is still in it. And it is Blackjack Jonesy. Jonesy, do not run away from me. Get back here. Get back here. I managed to open up his rear left torso. His rear right torso is open now. He does stop to focus me. And that is hopefully giving my teammate an opening. But now he's shift fire to my teammate, and that gives me an opening. Unfortunately, I am running very hot, and before I can get the kill shot on Jonesy, my teammates take him out. Switching over to the end score, this is a very capable mech, and that's reflected in the fact that we got only a single kill, but 780 damage done.